Hey everyone, Rise to Thrive and on YouTube. We're so excited to be coming here today with another live human design reading with MG Shannon Jenson, who's a nutritionist amongst many things. And so we're going to explore how she navigates all these beautiful passions that she has, all these wonderful areas that she steps into with the energy and the draw and the vision, and how she even accomplishes all that. So I'm really, really excited for today. Now, make sure you jump to the end as well and catch our special announcements. We have this amazing masterclass coming up next week. It's all for coaches. You know, how as you're coaching people, how do you reach your students more, right? It's super cool to coach your students based on what you think they need, but it's even cooler to coach them based on what they really do need. And I'm going to share with you their design insights so that you can have implementation tools in order to take their coaching to the next level. So now as we step in here, I always love to do a little roll call. Tell me what human design type you are. Hey, Gemma. Hey. I would love to hear what human design type you are and where you're tuning in from throughout the world as well. Now, Shannon, if you want to know the masterclass, just drop masterclass below. And if you have questions as we're going through this reading, you know, we get involved in the reading and there's questions that come up, please just drop them in the comments. And if we don't address them during the reading, we will address them afterwards and come back to you. So Shannon lives on the west coast of Canada, and with her partner, Alex, she's a nutrition coach specializing in hormone health and plant-based culinary, building out and launching her program in a couple weeks. Now, we were just talking before this, and she's also launching 100 other things, which is so the MG way. She's passionate about helping people to find their health and well-being. So Shannon was telling me, well, in her bio, that this summer she's going to be working on an Alaska cruise ship as a kayak guide. I'm like, how cool is that? In October, she'll be hitting the road, driving around Mexico. I'm just like, this is so cool. So please welcome Shannon. Tell her hi. Make sure you friend her. Shannon, thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited for this.
I'm so excited. Now, we met through a coaching program that we're in and how we launched our coaching programs. And I've seen you around and I was like, oh my goodness, she has such cool energy. That's how I gauge the people I want to hang out with. Hey, based on how cool their energy is and how like uplifting it is. And you have the coolest energy ever.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. So I want to, before we get into this, you're manifesting generator. You were telling me that you're going to launch a bunch of other things, right? So what do you got going on through these launches?
I feel like I just put way too much on my plate and spread myself a little too thin. So currently, I'm just wrapping up my nutrition diploma. I'm finishing the program that Courtney and I are both in. I'm finishing another business program. With our program, there's an extra business program side to it too. Like, I'm a full-time student right now, building out 2 businesses. Like, it's too much. And then I'm like, when am I going to relax? Maybe next June I will relax, because I have plans to launch 3 programs in the fall and definitely a couple of programs for the new year. So I probably have 5 things on the go for the next 6 months. And we live in a really touristy, amazing, wonderful town, but unfortunately it means that it's very expensive to own here. So we rent, and our landlord is selling the house. So we're being rent-evicted. So we're moving into our van and we're going to drive to Mexico this winter. So we have that on top of everything else too. So
you're so cool. I just like, I can't even. That is amazing. So you're going to be on the road doing all these businesses on the road in beautiful locations.
Yeah, that's the plan. So coming to a national park near you soon.
Yes. That is amazing. I love that. Well, and again, this is such the MG way, right? So in MG, you have this manifestor vision with this generator energy, right? And so they're all kind of, you have this combo deal. So in this combination, you have an abundant energy of a generator. So you have all the energy to do all the things, right? Now you also have a manifestor vision. And now this vision, you kind of feel these things, right? And see these things. You're like, and you have this calling to do these things, right? Now you have this potential huge powerhouse of bundle of seeing and being able to do at the same time. Now, this doesn't mean you need to do it all, right?
Which I'm learning.
Yes. And it's really hard. And it's hard for manifestors not to feel like they want to do it all or to build out all these huge things, right? And it's hard for generators to feel the same way. So you kind of have this double whammy hitting you. Now, what I tell manifesting generators is like mind the gap, okay? So you have all these things that you're seeing and you're feeling and you're wanting to do, right? And you have the energy to be able to do them as well. But this mind the gap principle is all about, on a subway or something like that, there's a gap in between the subway and the platform, right? And so in the past, I think this started in the UK, that they would have this speaker mind the gap, mind the gap, and they had all those all around. Because I guess people didn't mind the gap and they fell in or tripped or horrible things happened, But it's the same principle for you, like minding that gap. So really looking at, okay, I have this vision or this idea that I really want to do. I could just access all the energy to do it right now, but I actually just need to step back for a second. It doesn't have to be long for MGs. It comes really quickly, but just stepping back and recognizing you don't have to do all the things all at the same time, all right now. You can have that ability to wait and kind of cultivate that. Now it's hard because you're like this racehorse. You're like, once you hear that go signal, you're like, go, and then you just don't stop until you're like, oh gosh, what have we done? Or you've gone into something, you're like, this is really cool, but this is taking a lot more work than I thought it would, I signed up for a little too much than I should have, So how, as you're seeing that in your life, how has that played out in your life? Or how have you been able to, or we've talked about this is a hard thing that you're going through, right? Because you do have all these things.
I'm for sure the person who wants everything now. I get these ideas. They feel like they're a divine download and it's my life purpose all in this one idea. And I'm like, that's what I have to do. And I have to do it now. And so I put it on the books. I'm like, I'm going to do that. And then the time rolls around when I'm going to run that challenge or that virtual summit or whatever it is I'm doing. I'm like, why did I do this to myself? I don't actually want to be doing this. I don't have time to be doing this. I'm definitely feeling that for sure. And I see this vision for myself. I'm like, that's where I'm getting to. And I want there now. And I know that the journey is a part of it. And I don't want the journey. I want the outcome now. I want the destination.
Yes. Well, and that's your manifestor and your generator energy saying, I want this now. And a lot of people in designs feel that same way too. I want it now, but having that hurdle of putting so much on your plate that you can't really say yes to something you really love because you've said yes to all the other things.
Totally. That's for sure happening.
Yeah. So do you have a, let's just talk about your inner authority because this goes along with this. So your inner authority is a sacral inner authority. Now the sacral is all about your energy center, but how you use this is you follow your gut instinct. Okay. So inner authority is all about making good decisions, right? It's like a compass to making good decisions. It helps us to make good decisions. It will help you as you try to mind this gap and say yes to those things you actually really want to. instead of broad, be like, I can do it. And then be like, gosh, this is terrible. Why do I do this to myself every time? So following this inner counsel, this wise voice within inside of you, and I love human design, how it teaches us to listen to our body, how it teaches us, just like nutrition, to listen to our body, put our body first, Mm-hmm. And so often our mind tries to say, hey, overthink things or challenge expectations or side blind us. But listening to our body is a skill that human design gives us. It's a manual that's like, here's your manual for your body. And inner authority is a way that helps us to make better decisions. So your sacral inner authority is using that feeling within your gut and that's your right feeling. Okay, so tapping into your gut, kind of taking out your mind, like, filtering that out, being like, what feels right? And that's hard with that generator side because you just want to go, right? And that's going to be kind of counterintuitive as you start to make these decisions in the future. Like, okay, wait, don't make a decision right away. Just hold tight and start listening to my body. What is my gut feeling? Now, you can have these gut feelings get louder and louder as you practice them, just like being in tune with our bodies. So a yes feeling, like a yes gut feeling, is this expansion, this elevation, this like leaning in, this kind of lightness. You're like, yes, that type of thing. But I would still give yourself time to resonate with that, right? So if you say, hey, I have this cool opportunity, I'm just going to give myself maybe half of a day, maybe a whole day, maybe 7 days. You kind of put in parameters, like I have to work within these parameters so you don't just say yes to something you would rather say no to because it sounded cool. But that no is kind of like this tightness, kind of constricting, unsettled, or it could be like even blah feeling, It could be this emptiness that you have within you as well. And so how can you, as you're like going forward, and maybe you've tapped into your gut and we can keep tapping into that, but like, has overthinking been hard for you in making decisions, or have you been pretty like, or is being in tune? Does your mind kind of play games with you, I guess, is what I'm asking.
I think that my mind plays games with me for sure. And it's so interesting that you were saying the feelings of like blah or emptiness, because when I think about like when something feels off for me, it's that clear constriction and like stomach and like, oh no, this is bad. But if I were to think about some of the choices I make, and sometimes I would have that like empty or that blah feeling. So that's something that's really good for me to keep in mind for sure.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's really good to have kind of a language around like, what are my signposts that I'm looking for? Like, what am I'm going to make decisions. And a lot of MGs when that I coach, or I tell them, I'm like, just have like a journal with all your ideas and all the things you want to do, or a Trello board or whatever it is, and stick those in there so that you can come back so they're housed in some way. But you don't have to take action right away or feel like there's a lost chance there,
Mm-hmm.
So, and I always love the principle of like, what's meant for you will not miss you.
Yes, this is so true. And I'm seeing this, like the idea that I had 2 days ago that I was like, this is happening. I've had this idea for years, and it's been an idea that's been sitting and waiting for me, and I wasn't ready for it yet, and I wasn't there yet. And now I'm like, what is holding me back from doing this one?
When you like look at that idea and you think about it, does it feel like this yes feeling?
Yes, it feels light. It feels free. It feels just like, so good.
Oh my gosh. So you have this light, free feeling. I love that. So then what happens next? Like what comes in? Does your mind start overthinking things, or do you feel like what happens next to stop you?
Yeah. now the brain comes in and the brain's like, well, did you take in consideration the possible legal stuff you have to think about? Did you take in consideration how you're going to lay this out? Have you thought about like the automation that has to go into this and the tech side? And my brain comes up with like 1 million reasons why it's not going to work or why it's going to be hard to do.
That's really interesting. I would love to hear if that everybody in the if they've had that similar experience, you know, because it does. It's like all the reasons not to, and they're so fear-based, you know, they're
Absolutely.
so fear-based. Like, and I think when I went into Ignited Life Coaching, I was like, I had an idea of what I was going to do, but I wouldn't have stepped in if I didn't have that idea. Like, and if it didn't feel safe enough for me, do you know? Like, and then I would never have found human design, and I would have never been doing what I'm doing now, you know? So I think sometimes the mind wants like to keep, of course, it wants to keep us safe, you know? And it's like, oh, if you don't have all this pathway open up, then you're probably going to fail, you know? But it's not that way. And as a manifesting generator, you can do the work. You can do the work behind it. You can, and as a manifester, you can figure out how to get from here to there. You have it all within you. It's all right there. And the more you lean into that and say, you know what, my chart tells me I can do this, so back off and just do it, you know, just lean into it. And this totally goes into your profile. Now, profile is, let me find where we're talking about that on here. Oh, wait, no, hold on. There's something else. Sorry. Okay, this totally goes into your defined throat. Now, many manifestors have a defined throat. Now, on your chart, on that body graph part, you're going to see all those symbols, kind of like chakras almost. Yeah. Now, those are your energy centers, and each energy center has a job to do. And the defined ones always have those strengths with them. They always have those gifts with them. And the undefined ones are kind of temporary, but they can be boosted by mood or by environment or things like that. So it's not like, oh, if I don't have this energy center, like being able to work, I can't work ever, you know? We just harness that ability by mood or environment or things like that. So now yours is your defined throat, which is third down, is about expression and manifestation. So you're having this beautiful idea come to you. You know it's a yes. You know you're supposed to be doing this, but you keep pushing it off because of fears, right? And this happens to everybody. So it's not like you're, you know, we have all these people on here who are like, me too, this happens. I feel the same way, you know? So, but as you use your voice, as you step into action with this expression and you express, hey, I'm going to do this, your MG self is going to back you up. You're going to feel more aligned with who you truly are. And you're going to notice that those other areas that you're working into, those multi-passionate areas, they're going to be helped by you sharing your manifestation powers, your expression powers. And it's going to take you away from feeling misaligned, right? Or feeling stuck. Because is there a part of you, as you've gone through this journey, like with this idea keep coming back to you, do you feel like this disconnect or this misalignment with that process?
I often feel like I'm really good at manifesting small things. Like I can manifest a $100 dry suit for kayaking that sells for $2,000 easily. I can manifest like just these like little things in my mind, but when it comes to the big things and the big goals and the future I see for myself, I feel like it's a massive struggle and that I really am the worst manifester ever. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I've manifested so many amazing things. I'm not the worst. So there's definitely like this disconnect between maybe like what I feel like I deserve and what I feel like I don't deserve.
Yes, right. Well, and it's like you've created these programs and these launches that you have coming up but that thing that's like just a little too much, you just kind of put it off to the side still, you know? And so it is, yeah, it's creating this disconnect between like, here you are and the limitations that we all put on ourselves, right? We all do.
Totally.
Yeah. And it's so hard. It's like, okay, well, I'm good enough to manifest this much, but I'm not good enough to manifest this much, you know? And especially with your defined throat, as you say those type of things, it's going to disconnect you from your true design, and your flows of everything coming in, whether it's a yes or a no, is just going to get become harder or harder to do, you know? So those possibilities are endless as you like embrace this, like, okay, I am meant for this. I can see it. I can feel it. And so I'm going to go do it. How does that feel?
That feels so much better. Just knowing that, like, also like how important it is that what you're saying and what you're expressing, and like anybody who's done any form of like money mindset work or any mindset work, we know this. We're told this over and over and over again. And then to hear it in human design too, like, oh, if you're telling yourself these stories that aren't true, you're actually inhibiting your entire being of manifestation and your whole design. So that's pretty powerful.
Yeah. I love what you said. Yeah, it's really powerful. And how much power, again, that we have inside of ourselves to curate our own life, you know? Like the possibilities are endless, and they really are. And they're not just for a specific design type or a specific kind of person or someone that's super lucky, you know? But the more you say, and I would suggest, you know, taking some time with this idea that you've had and start speaking to yourself about the idea. Like actually use your voice and say, you know, even things like, I'm ready. Tell me what to do next.
Oh, it's so good.
Because you are ready. You're ready for this. I can feel this. And I'm like, here we are in different countries, and I can feel this all the way across. Yes, down here. Yes, you're made for this. All right. Okay, so on to, let's see, another part. Okay. Whenever I do chart readings, and for anybody, whether we're on live or on where they get their own chart reading, I always allow the chart to kind of speak to my soul, you know? I feel like I'm just facilitating your soul's message. And so this is actually really beautiful. Okay, and Shannon, I knew none of this, y'all. I didn't know any of this before. I mean, we've met in person once, and we've maybe chatted in Messenger here and there, but like, I just, you know, we haven't carried on like a deeper conversation, but this is super, I love this stuff. Okay, so your chart spoke to me and said, it wanted to talk about your defined identity. Now, this is another defined center within your chart that you can lean on. So remember, all these defined centers, you know you have it. So anytime those doubts or those things creep in, you got like, hey mind, I have this. It's right here, back off, you know? And your defined identity is, I know who I am and I know where I'm going. Seek to be your best self. You have this built-in compass, so trust yourself. Trust what's going on inside. I know, I'm like getting chills for you. Just so good. What do you think about that defined center?
It feels so good. And it feels like just hearing that like gives me an extra boost to believe in myself and that I can do this.
You can do this. Yeah, you can do this. And you're going to help so many people through these programs that you've developed and are developing, through these areas where you're sharing and showcasing, and your experience is all coming together. So you can like be a kayak guide, you can be a nutritionist, you can be all these other things all at the same time, and be true to who you really are, and not be afraid that you're going to let yourself down, because you You can't.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, this has been so great. Let me just, okay. One more thing that I pulled from your chart that is, again, just beautiful is your 1648 channel. Now, a channel is, this is from your throat to your spleen. Your spleen is defined and it's all about instinct, okay? And intuition. Your throat, again, is all about the speaking and manifestation. And so a channel is just another flavor of your personality. It gives you another gift or strength to look at, to kind of shine a light on. And we always stick within like our design type and our inner authority and our strategy and all those things. But these have a lot of power in them if we lean into them, if we choose to use them. So this 1648 is a natural born talent for putting passion to work. Yeah. You master your passion through practice and training, and there's this commitment to see it through. You're a lifelong learner, and right? And then on the flip side, there's this tendency for 1648s to just kind of stay within learning mode, right? Or just to like feel like I need to get the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and then I'll be ready, you know? But you're already ready. Yeah. You already have enough just from your experience. And it was interesting. I was talking to a manifestor, and she's like, well, I just don't feel like I have the qualifications, you know, to step into this expertise that she has just from her life experience. And I was like, wait, you don't need any qualifications but that life experience. You know, it's those passions that you've created. So how have you used your passion as you've created these programs? Like, how has that driven you to come forward with these programs? Because you created them, you're the creator of them. How did you do that? I guess I want to understand your process.
So I'm doing a nutrition diploma right now. I started this at the beginning of the pandemic as something to do, and also because I was ready to leave tourism. And I'm on the transition out. So this will be one of the last summers that I'm in tourism. So it was the next thing. And I like to change my career every 5 years, it seems. So I'm on track for it. So here we are. So I wanted to learn something. Yeah.
I have a question. Do you get flack for changing your careers every 5 years?
Yes. Okay. So I started out as a registered nurse, and I hated it. And I just did it long enough to save money to go travel around the world for 1.5 years. And then I ended up doing travel nursing, and I got my student loans paid off because I was working in rural areas. So I did it, and then I quit. And everyone was like, why would you leave nursing? Why would you be a kayak guide when you could be a nurse? And like nobody understood, but it's been 5 years now, so people understand.
Oh my gosh. Did you just tell them, hey, this is my life?
Yeah.
You know?
Dad, I don't want to be a nurse. Okay. I'm totally fine with, at the time I was in my mid-20s. So I was sleeping in laundry rooms. I was sharing staff accomm, sleeping in bunk beds. I've lived in multiple cars, like whatever. I didn't care. I did what I needed to do to make ends meet. And it was really hard for a lot of people to understand.
That is such an MG way, is to just do multiple things and to be okay with that. So I love that you're like, hey, this is my life, not yours. You know, I don't want to do it, instead of feeling like I just have to do it, you know?
Yeah. And it took a long time to get over that feeling too of I have to do this. This is what's expected of me. And it's probably something I'm still working through too, is the expectations and what I have to do, and more trusting on like what I'm meant to do and what I want to be doing, what lights me up instead.
Yes. And I love that you use that phrase too, what lights me up. That's a huge mile marker for MGs. So you know you're going in the right direction if you're lit up by it. Okay, sorry, go on. I wanted to...
Okay, so I went back to school, and then I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. I just wanted something. COVID showed me that I could have an online business and I didn't need a clinic, so that was great. And then a year ago, I was feeling stuck. And I didn't want to be stuck anymore. I didn't want to be making less than minimum wage working in tourism. And I was watching a challenge from Kimberly and I was like, okay, it's time. And so I signed up for her Ignited Life coaching program. And then that kind of just like continued to spiral. Like, how do I want to show up? What do I want to do? Obviously, I'm having an online business now. I'm learning business and programming. And then I don't even know what it was, but I became obsessed with hormones in like November of last year. And I still don't know, but I was like, I have to tell people that their periods don't have to suck. I have to do this. And so I signed up for another certificate that started in January. So I'm doing the hormone certificate as well right now, which will wrap up in August. So my whole direction now for anything that's like group coaching related is going to be hormones. I want to do my first program that I want to launch that'll be group coaching in end of September, early October, will be about nourishing your cycle. So that's the direction I'm going with that. It feels really good to me, and I want people to know it doesn't have to suck.
That's beautiful. It doesn't. And it's almost like we've set this bar of like hormones. Well, you just deal with it. It is what it is. Oh, well, so sorry. You're just a woman. Sorry.
Here's some birth control or an antidepressant, or, oh, you're just crazy. No, you're not.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And it's so needed right now, you know, because there's all the nutrition in with that as well, right? That practically plays into that.
Absolutely. It all connects. So that's the first direction that I'm going with.
Wow, that's so beautiful. And I love that, like, it allowed you to be able to go wherever you want to go, you know, and to see multiple places. And to be in Mexico, like, how cool is that? Miss Canada Winter, are you sad?
No.
That is awesome. Well, now how can our audience get in connected with you as you're launching all these beautiful programs? Do you have a group or a launch coming up that they can get in?
So I have multiple places. Of course, I'm doing a rebrand right now. Why wouldn't I be? So I do have a Facebook community, but so if you love Facebook, you can follow me in my Facebook community. It's called Nourish Your Life, but I am rebranding, so it's kind of on the back burner right now. So the best place to follow me overall is on Instagram. You can find me there at Nourished with Shannon. And I also have a podcast that's under the same name on Spotify and on Apple, and the YouTube channel as well. You can kind of find me everywhere. I'm everywhere. So, but the like most intimate, easiest way to follow me and all of my adventures is on Instagram. And then from there, you can follow into the other things. I am doing a workshop right now, and we're on day 3. I'm going live right after we're finished this it'll be 11 o'clock my time. So in half an hour, I'll be live on Instagram and in my Facebook group. So if you want to come hang out with me, we're talking about simple summer solutions for your radiant, abundant dream life. So today we're talking about the importance of sleep and how to improve it a little bit more.
That's so beautiful. That's amazing. I love that. Okay, I am so excited to keep following you with your adventures and how you're living your MG life. And I'm so excited to see all the things that you do next, because you're amazing and you're bringing all this awesome vision to life to help other people. And you have a beautiful heart and soul. And I'm so grateful to have you on. So everybody on, make sure you follow Shannon and tell her thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you, Shannon.
And thank you so much for bringing some clarity and offering all these amazing offerings too, and helping us to know, because this has always been something that I've been interested in. And I follow some people on Instagram and I'm like, yeah, I totally relate to that, but I didn't understand the full thing. It's like astrology. I think it's cool, but I don't understand it all.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and there's so much there to the chart. It's insane. You know, like it can be overwhelming, but like, I'm like, we're just going to break down little pits, bite-sized pieces, and then make actual direction changes based on those. So it's not just cool information. We're actually action oriented. So great. Thank you, Shannon, so much. This has been amazing. Like, love it. Love it. right, we'll see you. Oh, did I just end it?
No,
oh, I did not. Okay. Oh my gosh, wrong button. Hold on, you guys. Thanks, everybody. Let me do this one part, and then I have one announcement. Okay. All right, you guys. We have something very, very special coming next week. And it's next Wednesday, just a week from today, and it's a master class. And it's a beautiful master class that's been in my heart for a long, long time. And it's knowing your students' human design and how to utilize that so you can ignite more wins, more understanding, more progress within them. And it will help you feel satisfied and have some tools in your tool belt to know, here's my student's human design, and here's an action step that's super simple that I can take to ignite their power even more. Because again, it's super cool to coach students based on what we think they need, but it's even cooler and way more effective to coach them based on what you know they need. And so I help coaches, and I have a program for coaches that helps them to know how to reach their students, how to have a more powerful program, and with that. So the masterclass is going to give you, I'm going to teach you all the things about that. We're going to go over human design. So if you're like, what the crap is this? What do I do with this even in my life? Jump on. This is great for your teams. This is great for your friends. This is really great for your coaching program. So make sure you drop masterclass, bring your friends involved. I'm going to be doing giveaways. So a human design reading and a free month of Become as well. So you're going to want to make sure you get on that masterclass, drop masterclass below so we can get you registered with a workbook and get you in on that. Okay. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you for the beautiful comments, for being here with us. That was a really beautiful reading, and I'm so excited to have you all here. Let's rise to thrive.